That I wasted a lot of money and bought a lot of crap in my days. Yes, I did. So I decided to make a list of the things that I regret buying the most. There's 14 things that came up to mind very fast. And hopefully with this video, maybe I can help you not make the same mistakes and save a little bit of money. And trust me, I made some very expensive mistakes. And the last one especially was one of the most painful for my wallet. The first one on the list would be a man's EDC. You know those very fun to watch everyday carry videos? Whether it be fragrances, watches, pocket knife, flashlights, notebook, pens, little old school camera so you can take real pictures. Yeah, after watching those videos, there's always a little light bulb going off in your head saying, I really could use this thing in everyday life. What if I need it? Next thing you know, your pockets are full of crap, and then you see another EDC video, but about bags. That now you need an EDC bag to carry all that crap that you didn't need. Listen, it's not a bad thing. It's fun to get inspired and to discover new things. I love watching those videos and I make videos like that too. The problem with these videos is when they start making you feel like you might be missing out on something. And then you start spending on stuff that you really don't need. Don't fall for these things. The next one is trendy sneakers. I had some friends that were really into it and that got me excited. I decided that I wanted to take part in this, sneaker frenzy action. When clearly, if you look at my buying history, I'm a boot kind of guy. I'm a loafer kind of guy. Not a sneaker kind of guy. I mean, I do have a couple of pair of sneakers, but it's never been my core footwear apparel. And I got into it I bought a lot of sneakers in a very short period of time. I think I woke up like 3 months after that. I was like, what the hell am I doing? I wasn't wearing any of them. So I just decided to sell them all at a loss. The next one on the list to stay in the footwear are white sneakers. Everybody seems to be able to keep them so white. That's not me. Every time I see someone with them, it kind of pumps me up and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get myself a pair of white sneakers. This time's gonna be different. I'm gonna clean them every week and I'm gonna wear the hell out of them. And after a couple weeks or so, same thing happens. It's just a pain in the ass to clean. And I end up not wearing them and they just there. I know that's a funny thing about not wanting to part with something we're not wearing. We know we're never gonna wear them, but we keep them because we paid for it. So we have this feeling that we didn't waste any money. I'm not using them, but they're mine, which is completely stupid when you think about it. Might as well just give that stuff to somebody that actually needs it. Or even better, maybe think twice before buying something that you're not gonna wear. The next one, hats. It's really hard to find a good hat that fits you well, that you're gonna want to keep for a long time. There's a lot of trial and error in finding the perfect hat. Then at some point, you figure out what looks best on you. But for some reason, you just wanna keep exploring to find something better. And that's when you end up with that hat. And don't get me wrong, I think it's a really good looking hat. It was really an impulse buy. And also it's custom made and unfortunately the company never really were able to make it fit perfectly. They called it the cursed hat. That was a huge waste of money. This thing wasn't cheap. At the end of the day, I always keep coming back to my fateful cashmere hat that I've had for 15 years. Sometimes it's good to experiment, but at some point I think it's okay. You could stick with what works for you. The next thing on the list is a little bit wider. Anything really expensive between late teens, early 20s to my mid-30s. Designer clothes, designer glasses, accessories, expensive jewelry. I thought I was gonna love it forever. That I was gonna cherish these things for all my life. Well, I did not cherish these for the rest of my life, and most of these things I don't even have anymore because I threw them out. Wasted a lot of money that I didn't have. I strained myself financially to be able to buy these things that didn't serve me for many years. I'd say before your 30s, just be careful with big purchases. The next one on the list happens to all of us. The hesitation at the store. When you're debating in your head at the store if you should buy them or not. You're not sure if they fit you good enough. The salesperson is telling you yes, of course. And you love seeing them on the rack. You love seeing them on the mannequin in the window. But for some reason, when you put them on, there's this I'm not sure factor into it. But you still go for it. Don't. This is exactly the same thing that with hats. I know it looks good on me. Aviator, it's my thing. But again, I keep wanting exploring. And I end up with glasses like this. Most definitely, I'm not buying any more maybes or I'm not sure. If it's not a 100% yes, I don't buy it. This was an expensive mistake as well. The next one is buying something cheap to replace better quality. I know it's kind of weird to say you should buy something more expensive in order to save some money, but in some stuff it actually works. I bought so many cheaper clothes to save some money and I just ended up spending more because the garment I was buying was cheap, it was falling apart super fast, it was fading super fast. Oh, I have a great example. I wanted to buy a pair of new black pants and there was this pair, Japanese made, super high quality, but it was quite expensive, so I decided to buy this instead, which is Jack and Jones. It was pitch black. I washed it twice. Cold water, flipped inside out, and look at this. It's already fading so bad, it's insane. They're like dark gray now. The shape of them, same thing. After the first wash, it feels a little bit off. So these were $60, and what ended up happening is I bought the Japanese made one. They're at the tailor right now, so I'll show you in another video. Have you ever heard the expression buy once, cry once? You know, sometimes it really makes sense to buy more expensive. It hurts once and then you're done for a very long time. We should always go for better quality. It's gonna last longer and you're gonna save money over time. The next one, if you know me, is gonna surprise you. Japanese denim. For a reason you might not think of. I love working hard for the fades. I love to break them in, how uncomfortable they are at the beginning and they just mold to your body. But since I started climbing, I grew an ass and thighs. These don't stretch. Out of 7 pairs, I have 3 that don't fit me anymore. Trust me, that really sucks. But however, I'm gonna buy a couple of pairs that are gonna fit me now with my newfound booty. The next one on the list are doubles. You know, you find that thing that fits you well and you decide to stack up on it. At some point, you might change your style. You might want something a little bit slimmer, a little bit wider, a little bit longer, a little bit shorter. And you just end up not using those doubles. It happened to me so often with t-shirt and pants. It's just crazy. And you just end up cluttering your closet with stuff that you're never gonna wear. This hasn't happened in a long time, but it used to drive me nuts when I would do like a closet decluttering where I'm due to do my closet decluttering soon. I'm gonna make a video about that. And I would find clothes with the price tag still on. It would drive me crazy. The next one on the list might surprise you too. Watches. In the wise words of Mr. Jay-Z, if you can't afford something twice, comfortably, you can't afford it. When I bought this watch, it was kind of my dream watch. The price of this piece was all the money I had in my account. And the reason why I went for it is because I could die tomorrow. And I think it's true. You should enjoy the things that you want to enjoy because you could die tomorrow. But also you have to be responsible. And that was not responsible. I could have bought a watch half the price, that would have been amazing too, and have a little bit of money in my account. Not to say that for the year that followed that purchase, I was financially stressed. I was super lucky. Nothing happened that I needed money or whatever. Looking back, this was one of my stupidest purchases. And since we're on the subject of watches, watch straps. It's so much fun to change your straps. You have a feeling like you have a new watch. I'm too lazy to change the strap every day or every other day or even every week. These are just sleeping in a drawer and I put a lot of money in watch straps. So I think you should buy 1 or 2 maybe. I think 98% of the time I use the original strap for the watch. The next thing on the list are one occasion clothes. When I was younger, I let myself be convinced that you need a suit. You need dressy clothes for special occasions. The problem with those clothes, you can gain weight, you can lose weight, and if you don't use these things too often, when the time comes that you're gonna use them, they might not even fit you. So it's just a plain waste of money. Went to a wedding and my friend specifically told me, like, please don't wear jeans. There's a way of being dressier without being a suit. Because I ended up buying a pair of dressy pants. I wore them once. That's really expensive cost per wear. So now it's simple. I do have dressier clothes like black pants in a more Japanese elegant kind of style. If you're not happy with the way I dress and I can't go to your event, even better, I get to stay home. So don't fall for this, oh, you should have that in your closet because maybe this, just dress the way you want. Number 13 is trendy things. I get it, it's exciting when new trends are coming out. And it's okay to buy one or two things to fit your personal style of that new trend. It's cool to explore fashion. But changing your wardrobe every year or so because there's new trends coming out is absolutely crazy and a huge money pit. First off, you just end up looking like everybody else because there's so many people falling for the trends. It's just looked like all like NPC. They all look the same. And second off, you just give in to consumerism. You just buy a lot of stuff that you're never gonna wear. It's gonna clutter your closet. It's super bad for the environment, but also it leaves you with this addiction of always wanting more, never being happy with what you have. I remember seeing an interview with Tom Ford, and the interviewer asked him if he was happy when he saw someone on the sidewalk fully draped in Tom Ford, like the mannequin in the window. And his answer was quite cool. He says, I kind of feel sad for them a little bit because that means they didn't figure out their personal style yet. He said that he much rather see one piece incorporated in someone's personal style. So don't give in to trends too much. Try to be yourself. Don't buy for the sake of buying. Just ended up looking like everybody else. All right, the one that was the most painful in my life so far, my dream Harley Davidson. I love motorcycles. 10 years ago, I was tattooing this guy that was working at a Harley Davidson dealership. And we used to talk about motorcycle, and he hated the fact that I had a Honda Shadow 750. He hated it. He wanted to sit my ass down on a Harley Davidson. He convinced me to go and check out the new models coming out for 2016. Bro, I got there. It took an hour. I signed the paper and I was so excited. I was seeing myself riding into the sunset. And of course, I got into upgrades, modifications. I put so much money on that thing. But in all this excitement, the one thing I didn't think of, I already had a motorcycle and I was never using it. I was super busy at work, tattooing 7 days a week. I had 2 dogs at the time. I had so much going on in my life, I did not have time to ride into the sunsets. And I live in a big city. There's no point for me to have a ride. Everything is like walking distance from my place. So the motorcycle ended up staying in the garage for about 4 years. So I was paying the motorcycle, I was paying for the garage, I was paying for the license plate, I was paying for the insurance, and I was not even using it. So I ended up selling it for about a third of what I paid for it. So I would say before buying a hobby, make sure that you have time to practice that hobby. Well, I think that's enough for me of remembering how much money I spent on stupid shit in my life. Don't forget to put in the comments what is your biggest buying regret, so help me feel better about myself a little. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.